Hello dear friends, welcome to our first video on how to begin meditation. So for complete beginners, I recommend to pay attention to 10 points, and I will list all of them right now. So first point out of 10 is the space. Where do I meditate? Do I meditate alone or I meditate with people? You can meditate in a retreat, you can meditate in a yoga class, but we're talking about your personal meditation. How do you build it up? So I recommend to find a space in your house. If you have a possibility, make a little altar where you could have a candle, an incense, a flower, something that sets you in the mood. Why? Because it anchors you psychologically. When you're in that space, that's your place, that's your sanctuary, that's where you will now have your magic. It could be just a corner, it could be a little altar where you could, just a chair with a candle, an incense, a flower, where you like to be. And that leads us to the second point, which is position. In what position do I meditate? We can meditate in several positions. We can meditate sitting on the floor. We can meditate standing. There are standing meditations. We can meditate lying on the floor. We can meditate lying in bed or sitting on a chair. Why I recommend these positions? Because in these positions, it's most likely that you will have your back straight, and this is very important. Why is it important that our spines are straight? Well, because our spines are the biggest channels of energy in our body. And when we meditate and we make sure that we sit straight, most likely we will not fall asleep, because if we're slouching in a chair, we just drift away. Also in bed, on the floor, try to find a position where your back is as straight as possible. And I like the example of those toys that consist of different pieces, like those snakes with a little string in the middle. So I always like that analogy. Just imagine that somebody just holds you by that string and your spine is just, all your vertebrae are just hanging aligned on the top of each other. So the crown of your head is aligned to the sky and your tailbone is pointing down to the earth. It is important to pay attention that your shoulders are down away from the ears. A lot of people have this posture, computer or desk, office desk posture, and meditation is another chance to open your chest and relax your shoulders. So your shoulder blades are pointing down. And pay attention to your lumbar curve on your back. Just lift your pubic bone up so your tailbone is pointing straight down to earth. There's another hint that I use while teaching posture. Imagine that you have flashlights, little flashlights on your hip bones, on your shoulders, on your chin, and on your forehead. And those flashlights have to point straight forward. So if you feel like your hip bones are pointing down, that means you have a lumbar curve. So you just correct them forward. The same with shoulders. If you're slouching, your flashlights will be pointing down. Put them up. Also your chin. We want to keep the back of our neck straight. So I recommend you tuck your chin a little bit back so you open that space in your cervical spine, and your flashlights on your chin and on your forehead also looking straight. That's your correct posture. Now we come to the positions of the hands. For the beginning, don't worry about your hands. Just have them anywhere where they feel comfortable. Your hands can be on your lap pointing down. or pointing up, or they can be in a mudra. Gyan mudra, that's the most common. We see meditators mostly with this hand posture, or dhyana mudra, where one palm is on the top of another and thumbs connect. You can see Buddha meditating in this pose quite a lot. So just relax your hands in any comfortable position. We will have a separate video on mudras and hand positioning in yoga and meditation. So we covered 6 points so far. Space where we meditate, position in which we meditate, position of our spine, position of our shoulders, chin, and hands. And another very important point is the jaw. Relax your jaw. You can yawn before you start. You can massage your big chewing muscle over here, which is very tensed after talking or after stress. When we stress, we tend to tense our jaw, and that creates a lot of tension in the neck, headaches, etc. So just massage your jaw slightly before you start and relax. Next point is the gaze. We can meditate with eyes open. They're open eye meditation with eyes closed and with half gaze. I prefer to close my eyes because that allows me to be more introspectful and tune into my inner world more deeply. And the position of the eyes can be either pointed down to the tip of your nose or pointed up between your eyebrows, or in any particular part of the body that needs healing. It is very effective when you direct your attention to a certain area of the body. And it's very interesting how after a while, this part of the body starts feeling more alive, more warm. You can feel pulsation in there. And where attention goes, energy and healing flows. So whenever you meditate, I recommend you combine it with a self-healing practice. But that's on the later stages. We will cover certain techniques for self-healing during meditation in our next videos. And 2 last points are props and music. I recommend you have a cushion to support your upright position of the spine, and it's important in meditation to sit straight as possible. Always be warm because you're going to be sitting for a while and the circulation goes down and your body can cool down very quickly. So I always have a blanket next to me. I always cover myself with it. I have socks on. I have something warm on me so I can relax into my meditation. You don't need any music. I like to meditate in silence because that's how yogis traditionally meditated, in silence. So you start hearing the universe, you start listening to yourself. But sometimes I like to meditate with a mantra that sets me in the right mood, in the right vibration, or sounds of nature. Those are my favorites.